Hello, fellow Econauts, and welcome back to our show. I'm here with my brother Ben, the Rocketman. Hey, Ben, how are you?
Hey Simon, hey fellow Econauts, how's it going? Today we're talking about a Dyson Sphere.
We talked in previous episodes about the Great Filter and the different types of civilization. Ben, maybe you can give us a little overview so that we're all on the same page.
Of course, Simon. Obviously, if we want to talk about a Dyson Sphere, we need to talk about the Kardashev scale as well for typical types of civilizations. So we are currently a Type 1 civilization, not even quite, but almost. We have harnessed or are harnessing only energy on our planet. A Type 2 civilization would be a civilization that has managed to harness the energy of its parent star. And how we could do that, that is, for example, could be possible with a Dyson Sphere.
Maybe you can let us know why a civilization would capture a star in the first place.
Well, energy is very important, obviously. And if you now imagine our solar system or pretty much any other star system, with a few exceptions maybe here and there, usually the star is in the center of its system, and all the planets are distributed more or less on a plane around that star. So without even going into the 3D animation, so even if you look at it in from the side, you can, I guess everybody can understand that most of the energy that star emits disappears into nothingness. So even now if you look at one of the planets, obviously the energy on that planet, the solar energy on that planet, is also very small compared to all the other energy that is emitted in all the other directions. So long story short, a Dyson Sphere could help, or not could help, would actually enable us to capture all that energy that is lost in space.
Perhaps you can let our Econos know how a Dyson Sphere works.
In the simplest version, just imagine a ginormous solar panel that is completely surrounding the star in a certain distance, of course, and then the energy that is harnessed through that is transferred back over whatever means to the planet that needs the energy. That would be the most or the least complex idea of a Dyson Sphere.
If I remember Star Trek correctly, the Dyson Sphere looked pretty much like uh, a ball surrounding the sun, and then the people were living on the surface. That's basically how a Dyson Sphere works.
Oh, not quite. I mean, this might be one of the ideas in a sci-fi series like Star Trek, but in general, the civilizations would still live on the planets, and so this is also only one type of Dyson Sphere, and the energy would be harnessed, so nobody would live on the Dyson Sphere per se, but still on the planets, and the energy is getting transferred back to the planets. Or even you have little opening holes so that each planet still receives the normal amount of sunlight, or even more or less. So let's talk about Venus, for example. Venus is obviously a bit hotter. Imagine you could reduce the amount of sun radiation actually going to Venus, so you could actually probably making Venus more habitable, and therefore then suddenly we could also colonize Venus. But there's also other types of structures of Dyson spheres that could be built.
So how many different models are we talking about?
Well, how long is a piece of string? But let's just go through a few. The most or the least complex possibility we could do would be a swarm. So that would mean we don't really have a fixed construct around the sun or around a star, but multiple little orbiting satellites or robots that are orbiting the sun or standing in place around it. And then you can always build more and more and more and more until you capture most of the energy the sun is emitting. That would be a so-called swarm. So think of the super low Earth orbit constellations that we are currently building as a human species, and then just add like a few million more to capture that. And then the next idea would be a so-called Dyson bubble. So bubble because the material would be very thin and would just sort of surround the sun or the star, and would be held by the solar pressure, by the radiation pressure of the sun. So that would hold that structure in place. The next possible solution could be also a ring just around it. So because obviously we need an immense amount of material to build something like that. So a ring would require not as much. Also, a ring could enable us to build the Dyson Sphere in a way that we could emit energy controlled in one or the other direction, which means we could actually move our solar system, which would mean our whole solar system could become our spacecraft, if you want. And then the simplest idea, but most complex to build, would be a Dyson shell. So there would be an actual mega structure built around the star.
And that's
Completely
basically
solid.
basically what we saw in Star Trek.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. So that brings me to my next questions, the challenges. I mean, you already mentioned a couple difficulties here and there, but maybe there are more challenges that we have to look out for.
Just imagine one thing. How big is Earth compared to the Sun? So now imagine we would not be an interplanetary species and we would right away try to build a Dyson sphere. Imagine the amount of material we need. Earth has not enough material to build even a small version of a Dyson sphere. It's impossible because we don't have the material. So therefore, we as a human race, we have to become first an interplanetary species in order to harness and harvest the material from all the planets available in our solar system. But even that would probably not be enough to build the Dyson sphere. So we also have to find other ways to capture asteroids or other, like, get material into our solar system in order to have enough material available to build a Dyson sphere. So the first challenge is sheer, where do we get the material from? The second thing is then also, I mean, again, it's very large. So even if we were to have the material available, you know, imagine it, think of the Egyptians when they built the pyramids. They had almost no technology available other than the simple mechanics they used, and yet they built it. But it took a long time for it to build. So now we are pretty much the same. We are like we have not the required energy, because for that we would need a Dyson sphere available to build such a mega structure. So we have to do it one by one, small by small. So therefore, you know, obviously a huge challenge to build something like that. It could take thousands, if not even 10,000s or hundreds of thousands of years for our species to build something like that before we even see a benefit. And that's also why the Dyson swarm might be the more or the most realistic that we could achieve in our solar system, because that would mean we could already start with we start with one satellite, then a second, third, and then it grows and grows and grows and grows further and further.
That begs the question, with all those challenges, why should we build a Dyson sphere?
As I always preach, why we should go to space in the first place is space pretty much has infinite amount of material available, which would mean we have almost no conflicts on our planet anymore because resources are abundant. Harnessing the energy of our parent star, or even if we become interstellar at some point of other stars, would mean we also have energy available in an abundance that we never have to think about anything about it anymore. Also, we have so much energy available that the other opportunities will arise that are not possible right now. For example, completely terraforming a planet. So we have multiple planets in our solar system available. Now imagine we could just, you know, with the energy of our own star, we could transform a planet into a habitable system there where we can colonize, which would then also enable us to get more material and so on. So I think, long story short, harnessing the energy of one star is a goal that, when we achieve it, opens up many opportunities for the human species. However, just to add one more problem or one more challenge to build a Dyson sphere, if I said it takes thousands, if not even hundreds of thousands of years probably to build something like that with our current technology, imagine how stable our civilization has to be for such an amount of time to not throw the spanners in the work. So I think there's, I think it's a very interesting philosophical construct for now, but I think right now for us it is not really achievable. Just another interesting thought I want to throw in here as well, is when we are looking into our universe and we are looking for stars and we're thinking of where can we find other civilizations, and we are looking obviously for other star systems. If there are other civilizations out there that might have harnessed already their star, would we even be able to see that star anymore? Because they have covered the star, maybe we don't see it anymore. And that's why we can't find another civilization, because we can't see even the star. They've blocked all the electromagnetic transmission from the star, and also maybe their own to us. So just an interesting thought.
All right, fellow Econauts, and now we would like to know from you in the comments, do you think we can build a Dyson Sphere? Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe next week? Who knows?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Well, if you like this episode, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already.
And if this episode encapsulated your interest, hit this notification bell and you will never miss out on a new episode anymore. And don't forget, we have quite a catalog of episodes already. I encourage you to watch them as well.
And I hope I will see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.